What is going on? We are back, All Out Blitz podcast with Jeff and Brady, to talk about what we thought of Super Bowl 60 just a few days ago. How are we doing today, kid?
I'm doing all right. I got my stuff I need to get done, so I haven't had a bad day by any means.
That's good. That's good. Let's get into it. I mean, Super Bowl was a few days ago. Today, Thursday, February 12th. Wait until after the good old Super Bowl parade that ended up yesterday in Seattle, because the Seahawks, of course, as you know by now, the winners of Super Bowl 60. I don't know. My quick initial thought, one is congratulations to the Seahawks. Just an absolutely dominating performance on the defensive side of the ball. Again, while defense wins championships, it doesn't always make for an exciting game. I found the Super Bowl to be, quite honestly, a slightly boring, just because I like offensive firepower. With that being said, however, one thing, you and I talked the other day about it. One thing I actually enjoyed was really how fast paced everybody was playing. You're able to see from the Seattle side, from the Patriots side, man, dudes were just flying to the ball. They were flying everywhere from first whistle to last whistle, which is so much fun to watch because the game didn't really get out of hand, to be honest with you. Late it did, and everybody really felt like they were in it, and anything could have really changed the outcome of that game. That's my initial thought. It wasn't super exciting, just like the last time the Patriots were in the Super Bowl against the Rams, a defensive battle, which I think is what we all expected with this one as well, but not really exciting.
No, it's the general consensus I've seen is that it was a quote unquote boring Super Bowl. But I saw someone point it out too, and it was a defense versus defensive Super Bowl. Usually those
Yeah.
games, they turn out to not be very exciting. Because the
Yeah.
more exciting ones is when the games end like 48-43 or something like that. Like it's whenever it's like offense goes back and forth. Like take Seattle and the Rams in the championship round where it was just score after
Yes.
score after score after score. And it's like, oh, that makes it exciting. But whenever it's a defensive battle, it's like you're kind of sitting there just like sitting waiting for something to happen. And while Seattle was on the good side of that, it was because of the defense that happened. So yeah, um, initially I didn't really enjoy it because going into halftime, the Super Bowl being 12-0, still think Jason Myers was robbed a Super Bowl MVP. But yeah, going into halftime, it being 12-0, that doesn't tend to make for a very exciting Super Bowl. It obviously picked up in the second half. But yeah, it was a defensive battle. And if you enjoy defense, this was the Super Bowl for you to watch. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, just now that I've had time to sit on and just understand a lot more like how a defensive battle works in football, it's yeah, honestly, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Jason Myers, dude, was just absolute money. The last 2 years, I would say you rarely see that kind of consistency in extra points and field goals. I don't know what changed. Um, Jason Myers was dead on, though. Fantastic outing for him on the biggest stage. But you're right. The defenses played lights out. I'm just going to go and say it too. Like, people are going to reference, the Legion of Boom, right? Seattle was great when they had the Legion of Boom there, and they had an offense to go with it, and they were able to win a Super Bowl, get back to the next one. Of course, they lost that with the pick at the goal line there. However, I think this defense is better. I really feel like this defense that we saw in the Super Bowl is better than the Legion of Boom. It is more, I feel, well-rounded at every level. Up front, linebackers are solid. Defensive backs are money. the way that they fly, the confidence that they play with, you can tell they bought into the scheme. You can tell they bought into what they're doing, and you can definitely tell that they're out there playing for each other. I think that was very well, just very openly seen from opening kickoff. I don't think you saw that same confidence with New England. I really don't. They seem to be a little more apprehensive in that game. Um, Man, let's be honest with you. The winner of this game was Seattle's defense and the 3 turnovers that they caused. Between the picks, Drake May fumbling yet again, a pick 6 there was. I mean, it was a bad day from that side of things. You look at the stat lines, right? And, outside of the pick, or the picks and the fumble, like Drake May didn't have a bad day. Completion percentage was okay, yards was fine. Looked like he did pretty well. Actually, it looks like he did better than Sam Darnold. But what did Sam do? He played confident football. He protected the football, and he only made plays when he had to. The key differentiator on the offensive side was Seattle and MVP Kenneth Walker able to get that run game going. Walker was not going to be denied. Kenneth Walker had an absolutely outstanding game when he needed it most, which honestly I think is why he was MVP. If he didn't have that 140 some odd yarder called back towards the end of the game, that would have been a touchdown as well and put him over 200 total yards from scrimmage. I mean, that was a done deal of him being MVP. I think he absolutely deserved it, but Myers definitely up there as could have been a co-MVP, to be honest with you, but that would have been pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's to piggyback off you for a second. I don't even think I think it might have been like a 50-yarder. Like I think it
It
might
was
have
pretty
been longer than
close.
40. I
I'd
think
say it
it
was
was
pretty
like a
close.
50 or maybe even like 60-yarder. I think I remember it just being like a very giant play, and it just got called back because of a holding call that, in your eyes, was controversial.
It was a
But
little bogus in my opinion, but
yeah, I mean, it's let's look at the Patriots for a second. The Patriots' offensive line
oh,
um
the left
was
side of it, the left side of it.
absolutely brutal. Will Campbell, to say the absolute least, played awful. Like, it's just that's the best way you could put it. Will Campbell played awful. I mean, that dude was just getting rocked the whole night. Like, dudes are going around him, running directly through him, throwing him on his butt. Like, it's like, man, it's pretty bad night for Will Campbell there. And Drake May, I think, is now like the most sacked quarterback in playoff history or something like that. I
Yeah.
think I don't know if it was just a Super Bowl, but it was
No, it's all the
entirety of
entire
the playoffs.
postseason.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, yeah, because I think it was like he got sacked like 5 or 6 times, maybe even in the Super Bowl alone. So yeah, with Drake May now being the most sacked quarterback in postseason history, the playoffs have been around for probably close to at least like 100 years, I'd say. So that's pretty crazy. Now that's like we just watched the most sacked quarterback in playoff history. So um, yeah, I mean it's tough to go out the way the Patriots did. I mean they hung in there forever. I mean to force
They
Seattle
really
to
did.
only 4 field goals going into half. I mean you look how explosive Seattle's offense is. JSN was held to 27 total yards. So
Yeah.
they were able to shut him
It
down a
was
little well. It helped that for at least for the Patriots, it helped that he got injured a little bit, and too. Thankfully, he was okay. Yeah, I mean, the Patriots hung in there until they didn't. As simple as that.
and it was the defense, right? Like the offense, the entire game didn't get anything going. I think the biggest I didn't think not at one point did I ever think Drake May is going to take over this game and he's going to go will them to a win. I think the run game for the Patriots was probably the biggest letdown. When you look at Ramondre Stevenson and you look at what's his name?
Travion Henderson.
Travion Henderson. They couldn't do nothing. And again, kudos to the Seahawks defense, right? But you have to take a little bit of pressure off of your quarterback there. They're both good running backs. They can catch out of the backfield. Seattle's defense was just that smothering. I mean, Darnold had 200 yards passing, no turnovers, and of course he threw that touchdown to Barner in the when they were in the red zone there. Phenomenal, just a solid outing by Darnold. Used his legs when he had to get a first down to extend a drive. Kenneth Walker had about 135 yards rushing and quite a bit more adding from the screen game as well. It's, he's the first running back to win the MVP since 98 when Terrell Davis won it. I think it's kind of cool to see that, it was almost like old school football coming back where the trenches really did what they had to do. Person I honestly feel the worst for, and this is kind of the consensus around all media, Christian Gonzalez, dude. Like, he is one of the best corners, if not the best, in the NFL right now. It didn't matter if he was covering JSN, Cup, anybody. I mean, he had every single person on lockdown. The game could have honestly been blown wide open if it were not for him alone. I did not see, and I'm not going to throw too many digs, but I did not see, the assistant coach of the year, Josh McDaniels, really make a difference with his wonderful play calling that everybody loves about him. Again, yes, they have to go execute. It's not always on the coach, but the coaches of the year got torched in the Super Bowl. And I say torched because their defense handled everything New England could possibly throw at it.
Well, speaking of throwing digs, where was he at the whole night? Mac Hollins
Hey,
was the better former Buffalo Bill receiver.
Where is Stephon Diggs when the price is highest? Where is Stephon Diggs? Where does he ever show up? Except for that one play when he played for Minnesota and they faced the Saints. Where does Stephon Diggs show up when they need him the most? When he was in Buffalo, never did. When he's in New England, never did.
When he was at Houston, never did.
He is massively overrated in every way, shape, and form. A horrible, horrible diva attitude to go with it. I would not spend a penny on that dude. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody was saying when he got to New England, he was helping everybody out. He was all nice and being such a great, veteran presence in that locker room. And where is he? Mac Hollins, dude, was their number one receiver. That's a weird
he was the one that had
thing
the
to say.
most impact too, because he was the one that scored the touchdown late in the game that made it a game again at the time.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, it's a whole thing with Stephon Diggs, honestly. Let's try best we don't get into it. But I wanted to piggyback off something you said earlier about saying that this defense for Seattle was better than the Legion of Boom. Honestly, to some people, I could see both sides of that argument, honestly. I think the impact that Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, and Richard Sherman all had, I think just those three guys had a very massive impact, and that's what made that defense.
Well, and B-Wags too. B-Wags was there. I mean,
yeah, but the main core of the Legion of Boom is just those three, though. But I think the better defense, absolutely has to go to this time Seattle's, because you have studs everywhere. Like the linebacking core, their cornerback room is fantastic. Their safety room is fantastic. Their D-line is phenomenal. Like, man, there's so many good things happening in Seattle. If they could just keep literally every single person they had on defense, I see no reason as to why their defense can't be fantastic again next year.
A lot of their guys are really young. And it's funny, there's an image that's going around the internet right now, and I remember seeing it live when it happened, is Mike McDonald was there. I know it was Eamon and I don't know if it was Weatherspoon or if it was Woolen that were standing behind him as he was explaining something that he had drawn up. Dude, those guys were so locked into him. They were so locked in to the task at hand. Not once did I see that on a Patriots sideline. And you hear all this stuff coming out now that Seattle players realized that exact same thing from opening kickoff. There was a different mentality that they were able to recognize from the start of the game. I think that is what gave them that additional confidence that, hey, we're just going to go play fast and free. We're going to make that offense feel like it's a nightmare of a night, which they did. It was just an unbelievable showing by the Seahawks defense. It's been a long time since I saw a defense be that being able to dominate that much. It's been a long time. Usually, you see a player that's a wrecking ball like a Myles Garrett or Parsons when he's healthy. Hutch, you know what I mean? Like they make life miserable sometimes. But that defense just smothered anybody that had the ball. They were there. Like, talk about just gang tackling and just putting helmets on the ball. From that perspective, it was really, really fun just to be able to see them fly around. And like I said, watching, to be honest with you, Christian Gonzalez was New England's MVP. If they had one, I don't think anybody else is even close.
No, I mean, we were even saying it during like maybe even before the half ended or just like maybe like the third quarter. It's like, man, if Patriots do win this, Christian Gonzalez 100% should be in the MVP because that dude was flying around all over the field. He was making pass breakups from nowhere. It's like Seattle threw an incomplete. Who was covering him? It was Christian Gonzalez. Like it's no one else in that entire Patriots team was making a difference as ever. If Christian Gonzalez was not playing that game, that would have been a whole different game and in a very, very bad way for New England. Because I think Seattle probably would have scored 10 times over if Christian Gonzalez was not playing there. I think Christian Gonzalez is probably the captain of that defense. At least in my book, he is because of how
Oh,
fantastic
for
he played.
sure.
Yeah, man. It's like he was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I agree with what you said earlier. It's like if there's anyone for the Patriots to feel bad for, in my opinion, is Christian Gonzalez. That dude 100% deserved to win that game for how hard. I could tell he wanted to play that game. That was something you
Yes.
could tell just as even as a fan watching it on TV, you could tell he wanted to play that game. He was ready to play that game. I couldn't say the same for a whole lot of other Patriots players. I think a couple of them, maybe the moment was just too big.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
especially with like,
that's normal. It is, but it has to come a time, even going it down, going into halftime, whole half left, not down by much, come back with something, right? And, the Patriots opened up with the ball in the second half. Nothing. I mean, you look at stat wise, like total yards. Seattle had 335 total yards of offense. New England had 331. That's a 4-yard difference only. The difference is New England had 3 turnovers. Seattle had 0.
shouts out to them, by the way. I mean, let's talk about that real quick. Seattle is like maybe the first ever team, I think, to not have a single turnover during the entirety of their playoffs run.
Yes. How about it?
I forgot about that till just now. That's a
Yeah,
very,
that's
very impressive stat.
impressive. Yeah.
Mind you,
No
I think
fumbles, no picks.
they were leading with turnovers going into the playoffs. Like
Darnold,
they
I
had,
think, was pretty high with
yeah, I think they had the
interceptions.
most like total turnovers like leading into the
Yeah.
playoffs, and then they didn't have a single one in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
they played their best whenever they needed to, and it showed.
I think, again, I chalk this up to game plan. In the last episode, when I was talking about who was going to win, it was a lot about who is going to get a team to move away from their initial game plan first. Do you realize New England only ran the ball 18 times the entire game?
I believe it looking back now
With
because they couldn't do
Ramondre
anything.
Stevenson and Travion Henderson, you only ran the ball 18. Seattle ran it 32 times. That controlled the tempo of the game. They were able to extend drives. It helped that Kenneth Walker had 5 yards of carry. But it also makes sure that the defense has to stay exactly where they need to be. Run, pass, they had to protect everything. When you get one-sided like that, what do you get to start doing? You get to start bringing the pressure. That's what Seattle did. They started bringing corners in, they started bringing safeties in, and they would just blitz gaps like crazy and put that pressure on Drake May, which he couldn't handle at the time. I mean, you look at Drake May's stats, almost 300 yards passing. Now, a lot of them is garbage yards, right? Trying to get stuff back. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. I don't even know how many sacks, but 3 total turnovers because of the fumble as well.
It was like 6.
I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, this is why it takes offense, defense, and special teams to win games and especially win championships. Um, I don't know. I do feel bad for Drake May. I think he was in a really bad situation. I think we started to see that as the playoffs went on. Like he didn't look good against Denver either. He just didn't. And some of that again was weather. I get it. But I mean, that Patriots team almost lost to the Jarrett Stidham led Broncos.
Dude,
I
I
just
was saying the entirety of
it's
the
weird.
playoffs run. It's like I was saying the entirety of the playoffs run. Like the Patriots did not look good. Mind you, in the game against the Chargers, it was like 3 to was like 7 for like till like the fourth quarter until
Yeah.
they finally had a touchdown and then it ended like 14-3. And it's like that's like, dude, they did not look good the entirety of the playoffs. Like you barely beat the Chargers. Um, who was it they faced in the second round? Oh my goodness, why can't I remember?
I don't remember
The
who it was.
Texans.
Texans.
Yeah, I was
The only reason they won is because Stroud was worse.
about to say he threw 4 picks. It's kind of hard to lose. It's kind of hard to lose a game
And they
whenever.
still almost did.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to lose that game though whenever the other quarterback throws 4 picks. Like if the other quarterback throws 4 picks and you still lose the game, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, like you barely beat the Chargers, you barely beat the Texans. I mean, the Texans game was probably the best scoring one if you want to look at the positive side of it. But and then you barely beat the Jarrett Stidham led Broncos. And it's like, oh, Drake May didn't play that good because of the snow. Okay, neither did Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
Like it's like the snow didn't just affect one team. Like
No. It
I
affects
s-
everybody.
I still think realistically, I still fully believe if Bo Nix played that game, Broncos are winning 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and
we're
honestly,
seeing
like if I feel if and we could play the what if game, right? But like if the Bills made one more play against Denver, they would have mopped the Patriots the next week.
yeah, absolutely.
And a Bills Seahawks game would have been a lot better of a game. Patriots by far had the easiest schedule all season, and it started to show down the stretch
Absolutely.
that the offense was not as electric as what people thought. The defense, very solid, right? Defensive, just like the old Belichick days. Everybody loves Tom Brady, very good quarterback, right? One of the best ever. But he didn't really go and win all those games himself, right? The defense they had when Belichick was there going on those long runs was phenomenal. Was phenomenal. Um, you have to have a very balanced team. I mean, teams that we watch a lot, right? Like the Chargers, you saw that. Defense was good. Offense couldn't get anything going. Buffalo, offense was good. Defense was not. Like it has to be. And Seattle, majority of the season, especially in the playoffs, most certainly in the Super Bowl, offense and defense were clicking just lockstep with each other. Same track. That's why nobody could stop them. You couldn't say, here's a weakness here. Offense wasn't great today. The defense thankfully saved them, or vice versa. They were lockstep, just a solid performing team all around.
Yeah, I was thinking about it earlier. I can only imagine how even better that would have been for Seattle if Zach Charbonnet was playing. Like,
Yeah.
man, that guy, like, he mainly is intended for a goal line back. He can run if he needs to, though.
Yes, he
So
can.
it's like I can only imagine how good that would have been.
No, and
And
he was
you can
he was their main guy until he went down.
you can tell the difference between offenses and understand why which one worked and which one didn't, look at the rushing game for both of them. One of them ended with 18 rushes for, like, less than a maybe even, like, 50, like, total yards rushing with whoever running backs they were. You look at Seattle's, one guy had over, like, 140 yards and, like, it's maybe, like, 20 some carries. Like, you need to have a balanced offense. And it's like, if you don't have a balanced offense, well, then that one really good part needs to be really good. It can't be like, oh, well, yeah, it gets the job done. No, it needs to be like top 3 in the league. If
Yeah.
it's say like if you don't have a good rushing game, your passing game needs to be top 3 best in the league. You can't just and if you have a really good rushing game, then it better be a top 3 rushing game in the league. That's how the Titans did it for a while with Derrick Henry, and it worked.
Yeah, they did.
So it's
That's how
like
they win with Tannehill as your quarterback.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, and Tannehill was honestly he was fine as a quarterback,
Yeah.
but he was never like spectacular. It's
Yep.
because they had Derrick Henry who ran for 2,000 yards.
And
Like
that O-line, man.
that's what I mean. It's like it's really hard to be a successful football team on offense if you are a pass heavy offense. Like if you're a pass heavy offense, you need to have like a Rams kind of offense
You gotta be elite. Like
where you have like a
pass
Matt Stafford,
catchers.
Puka Nakua, Devontae Adams, like and
Yeah.
Kyron Williams and Blake Corum are no slouches either. I'm not dissing them at
Mm.
all, but I just like the Rams probably had the best passing offense in the entirety of the NFL. Maybe aside from Seattle's or something, but it's yeah, man. I just the big difference in this game was the rushing, and then it's once again it was the Patriots' offensive line, and then I was telling you this too. I'm like, I was sticking to my guns. Seattle's too good of a team to bet against them, and their defense showed up whenever they needed to. The big play that really set it apart was whenever Sam Darnold got smacked and threw the ball and got picked off by Chenna Nwosu and got taken back for 6. That was the play of the game that
Drake
kind of
May.
made
Drake
everything
May.
just. What did I say?
You said Sam Darnold.
Oh yeah, whenever Drake May got hit and then threw the pick 6 to Chenna Nwosu, that was the play that really like shifted everything. And it was like because at that time I do believe that was still when it was like 12-0, I think. Yeah, I was about to you hit that play and it's just like, "Oh, now it's 20-0. Okay, now it's starting to get bad." And then I believe I I think Seattle might
No,
have scored.
I think that was the last touchdown. I think when they went up 19-7, I think it was 19-7 at one point. It was the touchdown to Barner. And then right after
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
you're
when
right.
Mac
Yep.
Hollins scored
Yep,
to
you're right, yeah.
it was like 19-7. It was like, oh, maybe they're gonna
Yeah,
try to mount a comeback. And then that
and
happened.
then
It was
that
like,
happened,
that's
and then
over.
it yeah,
Yep.
okay, yep, now you refreshed my memory on that, yeah, because I remember they scored that touchdown, and then that was, like, late 3rd quarter or, like, early 4th, I think it might have been.
Yeah.
It was, like, early to mid 4th, I think it might have been. Um, but yeah, I because I remember that happened, and then, like, the pick 6, and I was just like, "Oh, yep, that's the game," because there's no
That's for
way
sure.
that they come back here, and it's yeah, man. I mean I just internet is just back to the Will Campbell thing. I mean, the internet is massively clowning Will Campbell right now
Yeah.
because the whole thing that he said at LSU, he's like, "Oh, if you let up 2 sacks a game, he's like you're gonna end up working at Amazon or something." And then people are AIing pictures of Will Campbell in an Amazon
Yeah.
uniform, and then his thing at the draft where he was like, "I'll fight and die to protect my quarterback." Then and it's like
Yeah.
it's
And it came out, just and here's the thing, right? Like he didn't talk to anybody after the game. Like no media, no anything. And
well,
that's,
he
they can
declined everything.
yeah, people can throw a fit about it. It's whatever. You know what I mean? And then it came out like, oh, he has a knee injury and he was fighting through that. And that's great. It really is. But everybody still needs to remember, like, this kid's a rookie.
Yeah,
Um, Super young, trying to learn the way. And for all that to be on him and him alone, like their guard on the left side is also a rookie. Like that's a game plan thing. Put somebody out there to help chip them. Shift a tight end over to that. So, you know what I mean? Like, but they
yeah.
didn't. They left that left side all alone. The play calling and the coaching staff did Will Campbell and I can't remember the guard's name, but they did them no favors. in that game. Let a running back leak out and chip somebody. Um, a couple plays here and there they did. Again, Seattle's defense was just too good for it. They would find ways around it, but the coaching staff didn't do a whole lot to help him out, in my opinion. I don't think they did enough. And you see him struggling out there like that. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. They see that weak spot, they go. Seattle's defense was not very forgiving.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely a call to have two rookies starting on the same side in the Super Bowl to start both of them. Like that's definitely a game plan right there. It's not necessarily a good one, but I mean it on some occasions, depending on how good the rookies are, I mean it can work out. But it's like if those two guys have not been like two of the best rookies, like actually like two of the best rookies, majority of the time that's not going to work out. And if you look at just Seattle's defensive line, it's probably top three in the league. Like, I
They're
mean,
solid.
Demarcus Lawrence, Shannon Owosu, Leonard Williams, I believe Jaron Reed, maybe. I think it's the other D tackle there. Like, man, it's just I don't even know if you could have a rookie starting anywhere on that offensive line for the Patriots. I like those are four guys that are not slouches at all, especially a lot of them being or at least Leonard Williams and whatever his name was, Demarcus Lawrence. Like those guys, they've been around for a while. They know what works and what doesn't. So it's like they know, especially with rookies, they know how to pick them apart. I guarantee it. So yeah, man. I mean, it's Will Campbell was gonna fall in my column earlier that I was talking about. That like for some guys maybe it was just too big of a stage. And it's like when you're a rookie and you're starting in the Super Bowl, it's whether you try and just don't think about it at all, it's going to be in the back of your mind that you're like,
It
holy crap,
affects you.
I'm
It does.
21, 22, and I'm starting in the Super Bowl. Like this is
Yeah.
this is the grand finale of the season, and I get to start in this. It's
Yeah.
like you're gonna have pregame jitters for the entire game. Like it's
Yeah.
like because football stuff. It's like you get jitters before a football game starts. You go out there and play like 2 drives max. You're like, oh, I'm fine now. For the Super Bowl, I can only imagine that probably lasts like 2 to 4 quarters. Like,
And especially
it's
when you're not having luck, you're not having a whole lot of luck with doing your job at a high level like you know you need to be. That just lets the doubt creep in. You know what I mean? So you have the jitters and then you have the doubt, and then things start happening that you can't control and you get no help. I think that's the big thing. And unfortunately, that left side of the line was just stuck.
yeah, I mean, it's not really much you can do, honestly. I mean, you gotta
No.
just put people out there, and you just gotta try and make the best of a bad situation. I think what really made it fall apart was that they didn't change their game plan. It's because, like, it doesn't matter where you are on the staff. The assistant tight ends coach could have realized, "Hey, there's a lot of bad stuff happen on the left side of the line.
Yeah.
Why don't we just like toss a tight end next to Will Campbell and just have him literally just stay there just to help chip or
Yeah.
something? He doesn't have to go on our route. Just have him be back there just to help like block like with anything. Or if you're running the play action, tell the running back, even if he's on the right side, hey, immediately go across the quarterback and go smack the first person you see on the left side. It's like you have to pick apart what is happening negatively on your team and
Yeah.
the left side of the offense because the right side of the offensive line, it they had its bad plays, obviously. It was nowhere near as bad as the left side was, though. So it's like you have to fix what is broken. It's a very big term as, oh, don't fix what's broken. It was massively broken. It was shattered. And they did nothing to fix it. They didn't even put a piece of tape over it. They just
Yeah.
let it stay broken and just kept getting worse somehow. And it's like
Yep.
at the biggest at the biggest stage, at the finale of every NFL season, it's like, dude, you need to do literally everything within your power to win that game. And the Patriots just didn't do it. And that's I don't know whose fault it falls on, whether it be Vrabel's, whether it be the O line's coach, like whoever it is, but it's just man, I mean, I think honestly, even Drake May. I think he's only 1 year in. I think he's another one that could be at fault. That's just like, oh, it was just too big of a game for him.
I think there's enough
It's
to go around. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Drake May was their leading rusher. I mean, that's sad.
well, yeah,
Ramondre
because he had like
Stevenson had 23 yards and Henderson had 19 yards.
he had like those 2 runs, I think, or maybe like 12 to 15 separately, I think. So that's like it's pretty unfortunate unless you're the Ravens whenever your leading rusher is your quarterback. Especially when Drake May, who's not necessarily a scrambler, but like he can run, but he's not
I would say he
necessarily a
did a lot
scrambler
in the
though.
playoffs. He did a
Yeah.
lot of that in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. I
Um,
just the positives, there's positives and negatives about having a very young team like the Patriots do, because they have a very young team there. Positives being, hey, we're set up for the future if we can get these guys on good contracts and we can keep them around for years because they're still super
yeah,
young. The negatives being, when they get in big moments like these, they crumble like that because they don't know how to operate, especially if they've never been in like the national championship or something like that, or just like the college playoffs.
yeah.
It's like it at the end of the day, yes, it's another football game, but it's in the back of your mind. It's like, okay, the whole world is watching us right now, whether it be in person or on TV. It's like I gotta perform my best. And for a lot of young guys in the NFL, that's hard to do. It's too much stress, too much anxiety, whatever it may be. And I think without a doubt, within the next maybe even like 2, but like 5 years, we'll definitely see the Patriots again, maybe if not like 2 more times back in the Super Bowl. Um, I just think they're so talented, and I think they honestly only have upward from here. And I know it's like, well, how do you go upward from just being in the Super Bowl? You go win it then. Like it's
I think regardless of their age, it's you start out with the jitters. You start out with the pregame jitters. Whether you make your first tackle, you get tackled for the first time, those start to fade away. Um, Unfortunately, it was the doubt after that. I said the same thing with Will Campbell, but it's all of them. Eventually, when you're in the middle of the game, to be honest with you, if it's a second quarter and you have a couple drives in and you're still thinking about how nervous you are to be in a game, they should probably take you out. You shouldn't be in the game. Like you gotta find a way to tuck that away and forget about it because you're there to do something special. You're there to play a game. And that's college, that's pros, that's all of it. You're there to do something. You're not there to sit there worrying about something that you can't control. You signed up to do this, go do it. You're being paid to do this, go do it. Like the anxiousness has to go away, regardless of how new you are to that scene. Most of these guys have played in big spots. They've got to get the job done. And that's again, there's a lot that goes into it. There's probably a lot of blame from the New England side of things, but we could talk about that all day, man. But the Seahawks come up big. They come up big. And they now go into the offseason with, of course, a target on their back. Everybody wants what they just took. They have some coaching spots they're going to have to fill, right? That happens every year when someone wins a Super Bowl. Of course, Clint Kubiak got announced as the new head coach of the Raiders. The only thing you can think about now is, well, who is he going to poach and who is he going to take with him to Vegas off of that Seahawks staff? So Seattle's going to have some work to do. They're not going to be the same. They have McDonald on the defensive side yet, which is phenomenal for the defense. It's going to look great. Offensively, who knows what they're going to be next year. But they do have a great foundation, a very good team to go and battle in the NFC West again. We'll see what happens. I don't know. One day they're at a Super Bowl. The next day, Clint Kubiak is in Vegas. The next day, he's doing his introductory press conference. And then the next day, he's back in Seattle riding on a fire truck. Like it was That has got to be the most whirlwind type of week in his life. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think the Raiders have a lot of work to do. I'm sure he's back in Vegas already, getting to work with the guys that are already there. Yeah, I don't know. It was a very anticlimactic Super Bowl. I think we were even talking about it as the game was going on, like in a commercial break or something. Like it didn't really feel like it was a Super Bowl at the time. It felt like a Sunday night game kind of thing. Like it was kind of weird. Uh, yeah, there just wasn't. I don't know. It was missing something, and I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I've been still trying to figure it out too. I don't know if it was just because I've gotten used to seeing the Chiefs or the Eagles every single year. Like, I just
I'm not going to say that it's a bad thing not having them. It was great not seeing
no,
either of
it
those
was
teams in
really
there.
good not having either of them in it, but it's I don't know. I'm with you. It didn't feel like the Super Bowl. Whenever Super Bowl Sunday, you know it's Super Bowl Sunday because it's like
Yes.
everybody's talking about it, everybody's amped up. It's like everybody's like placing bets. Majority of people probably do that. It's like you feel like it's Super Bowl Sunday. You feel like it's the finale of this year's football season. Like it's oh, the big game. It's like it's happening in just a couple hours. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just like I said, like just because the teams. I don't know if it's just because Patriots versus Seahawks kind of felt weird to me, but it didn't feel like Super Bowl Sunday, and I don't know what that was either. But I mean, all you can really do is just hope that next year is just better.
The Patriots were not an exciting team this year. They weren't, right?
No,
Like the story around Sam Darnold, I think had enough power to create some excitement around it because you didn't know really what you were going to get. The Patriots, it was just like blah. I mean, they were 14-3, amazing year, right? But their team is just blah. There was no excitement around that. So when you're like the combination of the two for the Super Bowl, when we're used to having star-studded Super Bowls, right? Like whether it is the Chiefs or the Eagles, or you think of if the Bills made it, or if Bo Nix and the Broncos made it, and I don't see that right now with either of these teams. Like they're very good players on both teams and they play really well together, which is what football is all about. That like shock and star power is not there.
yeah, I mean, I mean this so wholeheartedly when I say I much rather would have seen a Seahawks versus Texans Super Bowl, just for the sole fact of the Texans have more stars than what the Patriots do. The Patriots are a team of it's a nice little fairy tale for the Patriots and how they got there because it's a team full of nobodies. If we're just gonna keep it 100, it's
As
a
of
team
right
full of
now, yeah,
nobodies.
it
It's
is.
a team with Drake May. That's it. No one knows who any other Patriot player is. The only one I could think of, Christian
Christian
Gonzalez
Gonzalez.
and Milton
No,
Williams. I knew his
no
name whenever he played
nobody
with the
cares about
Eagles.
Diggs.
No one's cared about him since he was in Buffalo. But like, yeah, it's like they're a team of nobodies, frankly. So yeah, it's a nice little fairy tale that they were able to get there and get the story. I said at the end of the day, the Seattle is a better team, and they were. That's I don't know if it's because I'm biased because of how much I like the Bills, but I seriously believe in my heart that the Bills Seahawks would have been a lot better of a Super Bowl
For sure.
because
Without a
it's
doubt.
the 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 Bills have so many more stars for one. They just flat out have a better offense than what the Patriots do. Better
Yeah.
defense, it's debatable, but
Yeah, New England has a better defense. They do.
better offense. Oh, it goes to the Bills
By far.
110% 7 days out of the week. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I do like Buffalo. It's like I still believe, even if I didn't like Buffalo that much, I still believe Buffalo versus Seattle would have been the best outcome for a Super Bowl we could have gotten. If not, like Buffalo versus Rams, that would have been fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love Seattle's win just for Sam Darnold.
I
Like
do too.
all that
I
stuff
really do.
that guy has been through with going to the Jets, then going to the Panthers, then going to the 49ers, then going to the Vikings, and then now going to Seattle. His 5th team. I think he was like the first ever player in NFL history to be on his 5th team and win the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, it's very much cherry pick stat, but it's still exists though. Like
Yeah, it
it's
does.
I, you know what? The real losers here are the Minnesota Vikings. Let's just
I
be
know,
honest with
right?
ourselves here. They had Sam Darnold. They had Clint Kubiak. It's man, that's just the real losers here are the Minnesota Vikings. Man, I feel bad for them the most out of this whole situation. Golly.
Yeah, you decide. Sam just took us to a 14-3 season. We're going to say bye and pick up Jay and just stay with JJ McCarthy coming off of injury.
Mind you, they lost because of a no call that was a very massive face mask.
Yes. Yes.
Mind you, they lost off of a very, very, very obvious penalty that wasn't called. And they decided,
Yes.
you know what? Nah. Like, we were going to go to JJ McCarthy, who was only good because Jim Harbaugh was his head coach. Like,
Yeah.
but we're going to, I'll talk about this early. We're going to be getting into some draft episodes sometime here soon. But,
Yeah, we are.
man, if I am the Vikings, first thing I'm doing is I'm finding out how much trade value I can get out of JT McCarthy, and I'm shipping him off to whoever wants him. I do like this would be really weird, but this is I like because you know how much I like KOC and how much I think he's a fantastic quarterbacks coach. I mean, he made Sam Darnold from
Yep.
nothing into something. I think if they would do a straight up trade JJ McCarthy for Kyler Murray, I think that could work out really well because Kyler
Yeah.
has shown flashes of how fantastic of a quarterback he could be. He has also shown a lot more flashes of just being an awful quarterback. So that's why I say he is the definition of a decent quarterback because
Yeah.
he's never he's never really had any plays that have ever like wowed me, but he's shown flashes of how really good he can be. So I
Yeah.
think if you would do a straight up trade, JJ McCarthy for Kyler Murray, ship JJ off to Arizona. I seriously don't even pay attention to, but um, yeah, I mean, you put Kyler Murray in a
Cardinals.
Minnesota offense. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a better choice than just going and drafting somebody right now. If you know what, maybe go and get like a Jameis Winston. Could go and do
Yeah.
that for Minnesota offense. Actually, I take back what I said about Kyler Murray. I think Jameis Winston's better there, honestly. Um, because I mean, like Justin Jefferson wants the ball, and it's J and
Yes, he does.
Jameis Winston is a lot more of a pocket passer than what Kyler Murray is. So,
Yeah.
plus Jameis can move if he needs to as well. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. Back to the Super Bowl though, I do think it was a pretty underwhelming Super Bowl. But now that I've just had time to sit and think about it, I definitely enjoyed it at the end of the day, and I love all the stories coming out of it, especially Sam Darnold's.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's now that that's over too, and the parade's over, things are getting back to off-season normal. Man, we got a lot of fun coming up the next couple of months. I mean, what combines in a couple weeks here, um, draft after that in a couple months. I mean, there's so much that's going to be going on. You got 10 teams with new head coaches. Um, there's going to be so many moving pieces. It's going to be really, really interesting to watch how it all plays out. So honestly, I'm looking forward to the off season. It'll be nice to have a little bit of time here and there to kind of process it and dive into it a little bit deeper. And it's just really going to be cool to kind of see what next year looks like when you start realizing that there's going to be I think there's going to be a lot of players that are going to be moved, whether it be not necessarily for cap purposes, but there's new coaching staff, new schemes. If the guys don't fit into schemes, regardless of how good they are, they might try to, draft capital or whatever for them. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces. That many coaching changes. There's going to be a lot of changes in the NFL next year. So we're going to see a lot of that here in the next couple months.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've already kind of started my list of like big names I think could be on the move during whether it be pre-draft or a draft night. I
Yeah.
mean, I think we've seen a couple years, like couple past years here. We've seen like first round picks get traded and swapped like before the draft even starts.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like I think the Raiders are probably safe on holding on to the number one pick. It's not going to be like a Carolina and whoever it was. move to make Carolina the number 1 overall pick. I think the Raiders are probably sufficient on taking Fernando Mendoza at the number 1 pick, which, in my opinion, is a really good pick for them, is to stay number 1, go get Fernando. Because, if you if don't pick him at number 1, he's gonna go number 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, one team that I was just thinking of that, um, speaking of changes, one team I think that, could make some big changes regarding, players. We've been saying this for the past couple of years, but I think, again, I think it could be Miami. Just like with Tyreek's name being tossed around, Tua's name being tossed around, even Jalen Waddle's name getting tossed around. Like, it's just
Yep.
all 3 of those guys, especially like Jalen Waddle was supposed to go on the move earlier this offseason. He was supposed to go to the Bills. They just weren't willing to give up a higher pick for whatever reason.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, he was already supposed to be shipped out of there. We know Tua has been heavily discussed this whole season that he's going to get shipped out of there. Then Tyreek Hill, him doing whatever he does on Twitter, and just again having awful injury and him only getting older. It's like
Yeah.
he's probably at the end of his career here soon, with it, whether it be next season or the
He's going
season
to go
after
back to
that.
Kansas City.
I would assume so. That'd probably what would happen. But yeah, I mean, I think Miami probably is going to be the big team that makes the most big name moves this offseason.
Yeah. And Waddle definitely carries the highest reward for a team
Yeah, like highest
to go
trade value.
grab and the highest value for them to be able to get something back for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. Um, Anything else on the Super Bowl to add?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think we kind of covered everything there. Like I said, I'm happy for everyone in Seattle, honestly. I mean, like
Yeah,
I
it's
said,
really
back
awesome.
in all the way back in 2019, whenever I first ever got into football, the first team I picked because my favorite color at the time was green, Seattle Seahawks.
And
And
Russell
now
Wilson, man.
him and that's the color green, Russell Wilson, at the time, whenever he came along, DK Metcalf, like, yeah,
Yep.
man. I mean, it's just great because I still got that love for Seattle in my heart. So it was really great to see Seattle win the Super Bowl, honestly. And there was
Yeah,
no way ever I was going to root for the Patriots in that game.
exactly. Awesome. Well, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl 60 champs, man. It's enjoy the offseason. Don't do anything crazy. I want to cover one more thing real quick. Um, just because it came to my mind, and I have to remove some of the stuff I said from the last episode. I praised and I praised and I praised what should have been Defensive Rookie of the Year of James Pierce Jr. And then 2 days afterwards, he goes and does something just completely stupid. Um, at this point, I'm happy he didn't get that award, and he'll be lucky to even have a career in the league. I pray um, that he gets his head right, and I pray that he understands what he did and has actual true remorse for it, and can look for some guidance. Um, Terrible situation there. I'm not going to hash it out. But really just kind of wanted to touch on it really quick. Just an unfortunate set of circumstances of whatever it was that caused him to do some crazy things there in the past week. Um, anyway, just wanted to touch on that real quick. But again, I'm praying for him, um, just to be able to come out of this better, and I'm praying for everybody else involved. Uh, that there's nothing else, honestly, that comes out of it. Hopefully, they can just get everything taken care of, and of course, whatever comes out of it as far as punishment, hopefully he understands that, he takes it, and he moves on. Um, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, didn't mean to end on such a gloomier note, but I wanted to touch on it really quick, and I forgot at the beginning because I was pumped up about talking about the Super Bowl. So, anyway, we'll be back in a few days. We're going to start talking about Brady's got a list going of some of the best games throughout the regular season. We're going to touch on some of the exciting matchups that we had, just kind of a quick recap of the 2025-2026 season. And then, man, we're going to be into mock drafts. We'll be talking combine with results. They just sent the list out of the players that have been invited, which is fantastic. Then we're really going to start diving deep into this offseason and really keep everybody up to date as far as what goes on around the league. Also, of course, our thoughts around those changes. So, anyway, from myself, Brady, here at the All Out Blitz podcast, have a great weekend and peace out.
Peace.